Hey guys, Mahal everyone, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Cursed 6 artifacts. Currently, right now, this is a very hot topic within the DFFOO community. There's also some controversy around it because of the way that these artifacts were first introduced on the JP side of the game. But now that we've been introduced to them on the global side of the game, kind of in a different manner, I know you guys have been asking me, like on my streams or on my Discord, what do you think about how they released this on global? What are your thoughts on these artifacts? So here's my video for you guys in regards to these artifacts. Now, this is how I'm going to cover it. We're going to actually go ahead and take a look at the 6 artifacts first, or the artifacts for those 6 characters that got them. We're going to see what they do. I'm going to give you guys my overall opinion on them, on whether or not they are good, and I'll let you know right now, they're actually pretty amazing for artifacts. So we're going to take a look at those first, and then afterwards, we're going to compare to how when JP got it versus to how Global got it, and then give you my overall thoughts on how I feel about it. So let's go ahead and first take a look at what these artifacts actually do. So we're going to start off with Eretz Artifacts, because she's one of the 6 that got it. So she gets Healing Wind Charge and Boost All, which gives her an additional usage to Healing Wind, and as well as a 15% max Brave increase to the party. She also gets Prayer of the Citra Charge, which gives her an additional usage to that ability. For Vivi, he gets Fire Charge, which gives him an additional usage to that ability. And he also gets Buff Attack Speed, which increases his attack by 20% and speed by 10% as long as he is buffed. For Yuna, she gets Esuna Charge and Boost, plus 1 usage to Esuna ability, and a 40% max Brave increase to Yuna. And then she also gets Buff Attack Boost All, which is a 10% attack and max Brave increase to the party while Yuna is buffed. Now the next characters that got these are Lion, Sarah, and Tater. So for Lion, she gets Buff Attack and Boost Up, 20% attack and max Brave increase to Lion while she is buffed, and then Powder Keg Charge and Boost. 1 usage to Powder Keg, as well as a 10% max Brave increase to Lion. Sarah got Debuff Attack Boost All, which is a 10% attack and max Brave increase to the party while a target or targets is debuffed, and then afterwards she gets Moonlight Charge and Boost, which gives her an additional usage to Moonlight as well as a 20% max Brave increase to Sarah. And finally we have Tater, which she gets Blizzard, Rock, and Triple Slip Charge. This actually gives her an additional usage to both of her abilities, Blizzard, Rock, and Triple Slip. And then afterwards, Buff Attack Boost Up, which is a 20% attack and max Brave increase to Tater while buffed. So overall, those are really, really good artifacts. I mean, if you think about it, they all share a lot of things in common. They prolong the character's longevity in combat because they're giving them an additional usage to that ability. And remember, artifacts do stack, so these effects, if you have multiple copies, will stack. And then to top it off, they either give them an aura that is affected to the party, or just an aura to themselves when they fulfill a condition. And the condition is pretty simple, such as debuffing an enemy target or buffing themselves. So they are amazing. They are very, very good. So if you happen to be building up these characters, and some of these characters already got reworks, like for example, Sarah and Vivi got their rework, it makes the characters more amazing, makes them obviously a lot more viable, especially because we are now in the Cosmos era on the global side of the game. Now, how do I feel about how they released these particular artifacts, these Cursed 6 artifacts on global? Before I actually give my thoughts on that, let's go ahead and take a trip back in time and see how JP got this. So you guys are gonna be seeing some screenshots from a particular Facebook group for JP DFFOO that is run by Leobob. So first of all, thank you to Leobob for allowing me to use these screenshots in regards to the information that you guys are gonna see. So these 6 artifacts came out on JP June 13th of 2018. This actually marked the debut of the Idojas for JP. So these were actually the first Idojas that came out. And the way that these were introduced is there was a co-op challenge. You participated in the co-op, you earned the currency, you use the currency, and you buy these Idojas. Now, these Idojas were only limited to 100 per character that you could actually buy. So they were already limited, and to top it off, because they are the orange or the red passives, the better passives, there's RNG involved in getting these. Kind of like how you're trying to chase like those attack plus 108 or max brave plus 330, or like the passives that boost up the C level 50 passives. It's that kind of an RNG. So they were definitely hard to obtain, and to top it off, you were only able to earn 100 of them. I think what they were trying to do with this is they were kind of playing around with the concept of reworks, but I think Square, at the time, maybe Square didn't know how to introduce it, so they thought that introducing them in the form of artifacts would have been a good idea. But obviously, this was met with a lot of backlash. Players were not happy with it because they were essentially helping us improve these characters, but adding RNG to the mix, which didn't make any sense. So that's why they totally scrapped the idea. They left the artifacts there, but they scrapped the idea, and then they went on with actually releasing the actual character reworks that we see now. And these artifacts actually came out before the reworks came out, because the first reworks to come out on JP was Thancred and Ishtola during that whole FF14 event, and those reworks came out on August 3rd, 2018. So like I said, these artifacts, which were meant to be like the reworks, came out before the actual reworks because of how the community received it back then. So now let's take a look at how Global got them. So with Global, we were introduced to the reworks already. We got some reworks earlier than they were supposed to be released. For example, Tidus and Kain, right? And then afterwards, they decided to give us these artifacts. They're giving us to them in batches. They're not doing the whole co-op event challenge. So they're doing things differently. What are my thoughts on that? Well, first of all, I guess one of the reasons why the global side of the community is somewhat triggered is because JP got these before the actual reworks, right? Last year. I guess there was really no communication about them, so players that knew about these were wondering, hey, what's going on with these? Are you guys going to give these to us? What are you going to do? You know, so essentially these were delayed, but instead they were giving us other things to kind of just, you know, hold us in place. But these other things that we got early were good. Like Tidus rework early, Kain rework early. I mean, we even got like Thancred rework early. And we got some other things earlier. We also got some features that JP didn't get until way later. Like, for example, Global got the pity system a year ahead of when JP got it. Like, JP got it, and then all of a sudden Global already got it, right? The G-token system. Global had some minor quality of life that not even JP has, such as the accept all button. They have the auto feature for battling. You know, JP still does not have that. They gave us Beatrix, who was a global first. JP recently just got Beatrix. Maybe I want to say like less than a month ago. Beatrix was just introduced, and Global got it way earlier than JP did. So as you can see, even though they kind of changed it, they didn't really communicate about these artifacts, and they gave it to us in a different fashion. Imagine if they gave us these artifacts the exact same way JP did. Then I would understand why the community would be so like utterly upset about it. But to be upset about it now, and they're actually giving it to us in batches, in a better form, in a sense, they're not limited to 100 pieces, right? You know, and even though there's still RNG involved, at least we could still farm them, and there's other ways to get them, and they're already permanently included in the pool as they release them in batches. We're getting a much better treatment than JP did. So if you're asking me how I feel about it, you know, I apologize again if this might trigger some of you and you might disagree with how I feel about it, but I think the way Global got it is great. I think it's perfectly fine, because look at the rest of the things that they have given Global compared to JP. Like, if you guys had played JP back then when it was first released, JP didn't even have guaranteed 5 stars. You would do a multi, and it would be a chance for you to even see a gold weapon. JP didn't have guaranteed 5-star right away. Global got it right away. Global got a lot of things exclusively first. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be saying, oh, well, couldn't they have just fixed this whole Curse 6 artifacts, and for Global, maybe just put it with, you know, the reworks for these characters? They could have done that, but I feel like it would kind of, like, disrupt the balance of the game. And also, think about it. Since they put Beatrix super early in Global, I imagine that required a lot of, you know, programming and like recoding of the game and stuff to be able to do something like that, because Beatrix, you know, if we look at the JP timeline, just recently came out. So for them to do something super early like that, I imagine it would have taken a lot of time. And if they had done something like that with these artifacts by just putting them into the actual reworks versus the artifacts, it might have delayed some stuff for us in Global. So I think it's perfectly fine the way that they were released. But again, you know, these are my thoughts. These are my opinions about how I feel. I'm not going to force you guys, you know, to try to, you know, I'm not going to try to change your guys' feelings about it. You know, if you want to stay upset about it, it's perfectly fine. You know, you're entitled to feel, you know, how you want about the situation. But if you're asking me, I think it's silly to be upset about something that we got a little bit better compared to when JP got it, because as you can see, Global got a lot of features early. They've been giving us a lot of things. We've been getting a lot better treatment compared to when JP first came out. So those are my thoughts on this. The Cursed 6 artifacts obviously are great. So like I said, if you are farming these characters, if you are building them up, if you do have their EX weapons, then yeah, it's definitely worth farming for these artifacts because they are really, really good artifacts. So hopefully I got my point across. And again, I do want to apologize in advance if this upsets anybody about how I feel, but, you know, I just want to be honest with you guys, and as much as possible, you know, I just want to I like it when everybody's happy about a game, you know, and that's what my channel is all about, being positive, helping you guys out, you know, with your DFFOO journey or whatever game it is that you guys play that I happen to be playing as well. So that's just my goal with this channel, and, you know, how I want to present my thoughts on this topic. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching, thank you for listening to me, I guess, ramble in a sense about this. Stay tuned for my next video. 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahal, everyone.